Today I was talking to a young lady regarding paternity court because, like I mentioned in a prior video, I love this show. I love watching this show because the paternity court doesn't only find out who the biological father is, but the paternity court exposes the female. Has nothing to do with the guy. Now, you have females that would get on there and say, well, he cheated and he did this and he did that, and therefore I cheated in revenge. But at the end of the day, when she gets pregnant, now there's confusion as to who the child's father is. And I've said in videos of the past, two wrongs don't make a right. But females out there that feel they need to cheat because the man cheats, at the end of the day, you are the one that end up looking like the hoe. Because at the end of the day, the burden of proof is on you, whether or not the man that you say is your child's father is actually the father of your child. So when we see all of these paternity court cases out there, and although a lot of these cases come back that the man is the father, it shines light on the number of females that cheat in relationships, but yet they're always saying that the men are the dogs, the men are the cheaters. All the blame and the fault is on the men. But I want to take a totally different turn with this video. I'm not going to talk about the fact that the women on paternity court cheats. I want to talk about these dudes that come back 30 years later to claim a child. He comes back 30 years later, or he comes back in a time where the child has already been raised and the child is able to take care of themselves. The child is now an adult or a young adult, out on their own, self-supporting, and there's no child support involved. Now, in this case that I watched today, the man right here was told that this young lady was his daughter. So he raised her as his daughter. This is the only father that this young lady knows. 30 years later, this dude comes and surfaces. He's now saying that she is his daughter because he had an 8-year affair with her mother, which happens to be his wife. But this dude was also married. So you have a married man and the married woman cheating on their spouses. And the child, this young lady, came as a result of that. So now, after this young lady is now an adult, he now surfaces and says, this is my daughter. Now he wants to come and claim another man's work. Now, what I like about this young lady, because even though this guy was proven to be her father, she immediately turned and hugged this guy. This is the guy that she knows as her father. And so this guy asked her, "Can I get a hug?" She gives him a hug, but then she immediately goes back to the man that raised her So you can look in this guy's eyes, though, that he would love to kill this dude, man. I mean, throughout the whole show, he was just like cutting this guy with his eyes. But what I want to talk about are these sorry dudes that know that you have children out there and you do nothing to try to contact them or get to know them, but then you wait until they become adults and now you want to bring them on national television on paternity court to prove that's your child, when after all the responsibilities of raising a child is gone, you now want to come and take credit for another man's work. If I was those children or the young adults, even though this guy was proven to be her biological father, I'd want nothing to do with him. Because what happened to you all those other years that you didn't show up? So the judge asked him, like, well, what took you so long? You know, why now? And the only thing this man does, you know, he's still acting like the devil that he is. He was a devil back then, cheating on his wife with another man's wife. And now, when the young lady is an adult, he kept quiet. He stayed out of the picture. This dude stayed out of the picture when it was time to buy milk, when it was time to buy clothing, when it was time to help support this young lady. He was nowhere to be found. So now that she's an adult and she's self-sufficient, now this devil creeps back into the picture and creates even more confusion and hurt, because at the end of the show, this young lady was hurt. The man that raised her was hurt. This dude is standing there on the sideline expecting her now to run into his arms. After all this time, this dude gets no props at all. And I've seen this happen more than a few times on paternity court. See, it's easy to always blame the woman. Yeah, paternity court is mainly for the cheating women. Paternity court has nothing to do with the cheating man, but it has everything to do with the cheating woman that ended up pregnant while she was cheating, whether she be married or whether she wasn't married at the time. She cheated. She's unfaithful. But yet you have a lot of females like to put that on men, right? But at the end of the day, if this dude was really concerned about his daughter, if he know he had a child out there, why did you wait until after all of the responsibilities of raising a child is done and over, and she's an adult now, to want to come creep back into the life, you know, expecting open arms, just because of the fact that you were the sperm donor? The man that raised her as his own daughter, that's the real man right there. Now I understand there's situations where the guy can't be there, where he made attempts to be there and he couldn't be there. And so he waits till that child makes the choice and decision for themselves. But it seemed like it's now the norm for all of these old guys to come out of the past to claim an adult as your child. While when she was small and she needed a Barbie doll or she needed clothing or what have you, you weren't nowhere to be found. Another man was taking care of that child, of your child. And now that she's an adult or he's an adult, now you take time out to look this person up on Facebook, on the internet, and contact paternity court, because now you think you're doing a big thing by saying, I'm the father and I want to be in my child's life or my daughter's life or my son's life. But what happened to you in those early years? when you were supposed to have been there to protect them, to build bonds with them? What happened to you back then? You were nowhere to be found, but yet 30 years later, you now resurface and expect to fall into her arms. These dudes are sorry. They're the devil that they are. They're the devil that they were back then, and they're still a devil today, because their only goal is to create confusion between families. Their whole agenda is to break families up. He should have just let well enough alone. It's not enough that you destroyed the family back then, but now you want to resurface and claim that this is your daughter, creating even more confusion and breaking up families. You have dudes out there, they have no other motive or agenda but to destroy families. It's like Satan walking up and down in the earth, seeking whom they may devour. The Most High is not the author of confusion. The devil is. And this dude came back into this girl's life to create nothing but confusion and heartache. So, feedback, tell me what you think. Until next time. I'm just thinking out loud.